Me. I'm the one who said, do not campaign about any of the economic issues that a ton of Americans are experiencing in a time when they have felt negative real wage growth. Do not do that. Do not talk about that at all, okay? No matter what. Talk about civility. Talk about institutions and talk about defending those institutions. That's what I said to the campaign. That was me. That was me. That was my bad. I was like, please, no matter what you do, there are 35 polls that show that you are picking up at least 6 points if you change trajectory, if you separate yourself from Biden's Gaza policy. No matter what, do not do that. Do not separate yourself from Biden. I said in the last hour, do not ever separate yourself from Biden. Go on The View, I said to Kamala Harris. I said, Madam Vice President, you must go on The View and you must tell the American population that you are just like Joe Biden. I'm sorry. As a Democratic campaigner, I said all of those things and they listened. And now I'm here to say my bad, okay? Everybody, welcome back. Hello, what's going on, everybody? What's happening? I'm Hasan Piker. This is the HasanAbi broadcast coming to you live from sunny California, Los Angeles. 72 degrees and sunny here in Los Angeles, California. We're live and alive, and I hope all the boys, I hope all the girls, and I hope all the MBs are having a fantastic one, because today's a beautiful day. Today's a wonderful day, regardless of everything else that is going on in the world that might point to it not being a beautiful day or a fantastic day. I'm Hasan Piker, and we are live, and we are alive, folks. And I hope all the boys, girls, and MBs are having a great one, regardless of all of the signs that point to you potentially not feeling a great one. I will vote for Donald Trump. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, boys, girls, and MBs, this is the part of the broadcast where I tell you about my personal news about what happened in the world of HasanAbi Piker. This is November 6, 2024. November 6, 2024. It is one day after the goddamn election. We are live. We're alive. And there's a lot to talk about. There's a lot of organizing that needs to happen. We're going to be talking about that. My unfollow spree is going triple platinum today. All right. Well, in any case, ladies and gentlemen, boys, girls, MBs, there's a lot to talk about today, and we're going to get right into it. I'm just going to freaking blast off. But I guess one note that I will have for you is that I did a 14-hour broadcast on yesterday. For those of you who don't know, I mean, this is what happened. The election took place, and we couldn't do the steal. Okay? Hold on one second. Stop the steal, election aftermath. Democrats seize defeat from the jaws of victory. Once again, blame game time. Get in now. Trump wins. Okay. Sad, but Trump content is so excited. No, I don't. I'm not entertaining that. Like, I don't give a fuck that hogs and hogalinas are going to have a metric ton of tremendous content. It literally does not matter. I think that the future of this country, is in a dire situation. Now, make no mistake, the future of this country was in a dire situation whether Kamala Harris won or Donald Trump won. That was 100% 2016 Reddit ad take. No dumb. This is the correct take. The country was regardless of whether Donald Trump was going to be president or Kamala Harris was going to be president. It's bleak. Okay, it's so goddamn bleak. We had a Republican primary last night. I don't know if you recognize what just took place. Okay, we had a Republican primary last night, and the Democratic Party lost it. And we're going to be talking about all of that. We're going to talk about how right I was about so many of the issues that everybody was telling me I was on cope watch, or I was wrong. I'm so wrong. Kamala Harris is brilliant. There's a brilliant method to the madness. You just don't understand it. You don't have the same internal polls. And it's not just like people that were in this community that were telling me this every now and then, but there was also so many goddamn people that were in my even like personal life that was telling me this. Made me feel like I'm going crazy. And it was very frustrating. Anyway, stop the steal. Friend of the show, Ested, nailed it. I am going to hopefully have our buddy Ested on. We'll see. I mean, I reached out to him. I was like, listen, I hate that we find each other like this, you know? I hate that we find ourselves in this moment, but Ested and I had these conversations. Ested Hernan is a New York Times reporter. He is on the Daily today, absolutely blistering the Democratic Party and talking about Donald Trump. Now, I need you to understand. Something, okay? Friend of the show is Ested Herndon. And I had these conversations so many times, okay? So many times. So hopefully, what? Your most famous VOD watcher vindicated again? If someone is publicly endorsing a political figure, that doesn't even mean they're going to vote for them. Azealia Banks reveals she decided to vote for Donald Trump despite previously stating she would vote for Kamala Harris. Lamau, I lied. I voted for Trump yesterday. That's hilarious. That is hilarious. All of the demographic shifts we're going to be looking into as well. But in any case, ladies and gentlemen, boys, girls, MBs, we have a lot to talk about, okay? We have a lot to talk about today. That's why I blasted off already. But here, one thing to say, in terms of personal news, all I'm going to say is this. I went to bed last night at 2, okay? I went to bed last night at 2 a.m. I woke up at 6 a.m. I had a conversation with my family, as I always do in the morning, okay? And then I went and I worked out, okay? I went and I worked out at the gym. Why did I do that? Because life goes on, all right? It does not matter. You just have to keep staying. You have to stay on message. You have to stay with your rigid life and work-life balance. You have to still feel human. You know what I mean? It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter that Donald Trump's the president. Like, again, it's going to suck. It is what it is. You just have to still focus on your own life. You have to still focus on improving yourself. Okay? First and foremost, you need to focus on yourself and ensure that you're healthy. And no matter what, before people say, it's because you're a white man and it doesn't matter, or whatever the fuck you want to say about that, it does matter, okay? It will be beneficial for you regardless. It will be beneficial for you to continue doing these things, continue improving yourself. You'll become a better person. You'll become a more confident person, and it will allow you to have some semblance of stability. Okay? Very important. Why? Why is this very important? It's because over this past year, okay, I have talked extensively about the dire situation that's happening in Gaza, the dire situation that's happening in the United States of America, that America is that America, unfortunately, is staring down the barrel of something nefarious, regardless of whether Kamala Harris won or if Donald Trump won. Obviously, the situation is much worse when Donald Trump is winning than Kamala Harris winning, but it's bad regardless, right? And a lot of that stuff, and especially like how vitriolic the online discourse has gotten, should normally cause me to possibly kill myself, okay? But I am mentally in a healthier place, in a happier place than I've ever been. And I think part of that is because I work out. It's because I work out every day. I have set goals for myself, and I have achieved certain goals that I've set for myself. And I think that is really significant in helping me maintain some semblance of control over my life. I posted this the other day before the election. I said, vanity stuff aside, working out and becoming physically fit has truly improved my mental health in spite of the insane levels of vitriol online. It's something I have control over, and achieving these goals has restored my confidence. I hope this inspires others to work out as well. And that is the truth, because when so many things are happening in the world that are completely outside of your control, you have to focus on things that are within your control. This is one of those things, right? And it has massively beneficial, it has massive benefits for your mental health, okay? It's you will feel better. It's something that I truly think will be helpful for every single one of you. So it's something that you got to work on, you know? That's one aspect of it. It doesn't have to be just working out, for the record. You can learn a different language or something. You know what I mean? You can learn to become a puzzle master. I don't know. But in times like this, I think it's very important to remember that. It's very important to remember that, you know, there is a world outside of politics, even though politics can get ugly, even though politics will be massively consequential in you know, your own personal development, your own personal life. Like, nobody wants to think about a goddamn government stooge coming in and disrupting a medical procedure that you normally had the freedom to be able to get. And now you can't because a bunch of the dumbest people got together and decided, yeah, fuck that, you shouldn't get that. I want to control what you do to your own body. That's devastating, and I totally understand that. But in spite of all of that, like I said, it's good to rely on one another in times like this. It's good to rely on your community in times like this, and it's good to rely on yourself in times like this. Okay, that's it. If you want to be a puzzle master, go see the #1 puzzle fan, HasanAbi hit. I just love puzzles. Yeah, I'm not like a big puzzle boy. I'm just saying that, like, there's a thing out there for you. There is a thing out there for you, and I hope you can find it, and I hope you can pursue it, and I hope that in the process of pursuing said thing, no matter what it is, you will feel a sense of control over your own life. I think that's what the major problem here is. A lot of people look to the situation at hand and recognize how helpless they are, recognize how powerless they are, and basically think, what the is going to happen? This is a dire situation. I've had so many Trump supporters reach out to me in the last 24 hours to be like, so what's up with this Trump guy? Why is everybody saying he's so aggro? Like, can you... And this is like good faith. This is not bad faith. Okay? People are just like, they literally are just like, I don't really get it. I don't know why people are feeling this way. And I think that is a massive problem with, like, the way that the Democratic Party has not communicated, the way that the media has dropped the ball. We're going to be talking a whole bit about that today. As a woman, I don't feel like I have bodily autonomy, so how can I feel control over my life? Great question. That's what I was trying to say. That's what I was trying to explain, that, like, in spite of all of that, just like kind of shutting that out for at least 30 minutes at a time throughout your day to hyper focus on something that gives you meaning, that gives your life a little bit more meaning, I think will be positive. It'll be beneficial, because while I will personally never be able to understand what you're an idiot and directly influenced this. That's funny. You're right. Definitely. I directly did this. Because I played Vote por Trump, the song, too much. Yeah, I did this. I'm Kamala Harris, by the way. Guys, I did this. I'm Kamala Harris. I've been working with Kamala Harris. I'm Doug. I'm both of them. I have actually been campaigning with Kamala Harris. I'm the one. I'm sorry. I'm the one who sent Richie Torres to Michigan. I'm the one who told the campaign to send Bill Clinton to Michigan to be like, Judea and Samaria is goated, and that, all Arabs deserve to get killed. Honestly, it is what it is. Don't vote for us. We don't want it. My mistake. Okay. My mistake. Didn't think that was going to fail spectacularly. I was the one who said Liz Cheney should be a prominent fixture of the campaign. My bad. Mea culpa. I will recognize it and I will own it. I'm sorry. I told the campaign, Liz Cheney, Dick Cheney were launching them like missiles into the suburbs. They will be screaming bloody murder. They will be singing the gospel. They will carry the red book. They're all Maoist third worlders now. They're all in the Democratic Party's coalition. They're going to turn. That was me. I'm the one who said, do not campaign about any of the economic issues that a ton of Americans are experiencing in a time when they have felt negative real wage growth. Do not do that. Do not talk about that at all, okay? No matter what. Talk about civility. Talk about institutions and talk about defending those institutions. That's what I said to the campaign. That was me. That was my bad. I was like, please, no matter what you do, there are 35 polls that show that you are picking up at least 6 points if you change trajectory, if you separate yourself from Biden's Gaza policy. No matter what, do not do that. Do not separate yourself from Biden. I said in the last hour, do not ever separate yourself from Biden. Go on The View, I said to Kamala Harris. I said, Madam Vice President, you must go on The View and you must tell the American population that you are just like Joe Biden. I'm sorry. As a Democratic campaigner, I said all of those things and they listened. And now I'm here to say my bad, okay? And it was really because at the same time, the Trump campaign's research found that up for grabs voters were about 6 times as likely as other battleground state voters to be motivated by their views of Israel, war, and Gaza. This is why Trump Vance ramped up the anti-war rhetoric in the last few weeks of the campaign. And to me, I saw that and I knew that because I was reading the polls that said, hey, you should say something about this, right? And I always said, don't you say a thing. Don't you say a damn thing about this, because that's bad. If you say a damn thing about Israel-Palestine that communicates that you understand the victims, the humanity of the victims in this circumstance, an objectively unpopular policy that the Biden administration has continued along with, despite the fact that 80% of Democrats, 70% of independents, and 54% of Republicans wanted a ceasefire. I told the campaign, don't do that. Lean in to the right-wing reactionary government of Benjamin Netanyahu. Lean into that. Bear hug him. Give him another $8 billion. Do that. That's what I said. It's my bad. I said, send John Fetterman over to Joe Rogan. Do that. Send the one guy in the Democratic Party's caucus that literally cannot communicate due to a disability that he has. Like him, hate him, doesn't matter. It's a format that requires you to speak. That's what I said. I was like, Tim Walz, you shut the fuck up. You shut your goddamn beautiful mouth, Tim Walz. I don't want you anywhere near the Joe Rogan Experience. Bernie Sanders, go back to the back office. I don't want you anywhere near the Joe Rogan Experience. So if you guys didn't understand what I was doing there, I was responding to one chatter who said that I am the reason why the Democratic Party lost. And I gave you some of the reasons why the Democratic Party lost, assuming the position of a Democratic analyst, a Democratic campaign consultant. Now, of course, you could probably tell that I was being humorous in this situation. There's a lot of normies in here, so I wanted to, make sure that you understand what my position is, make sure that I clarify. No Democratic campaign consultant would ever acknowledge or admit or apologize for their failures. They would never do that. So that's why you know it's a joke. Never in the history of the Democratic Party has a Democratic consultant gone out there and been like, my bad. Peter Dow, last guy he did that with Hillary Clinton. That was it. Peter Dow is the last guy. Now he's like a literal radical Maoist third worldist. Okay? He's the last guy. Also, look at this. Now that the election is over, I think we can finally say that, yeah, actually, Project 2025 is the agenda, lol. Also, I recommended never say that they're weird again, yeah. Bro, damn, I watch your streams a lot. When did you have time for all that? Damn, disappointing. It's like you were snatching failure from the jaws of victory. Yeah. So, if you want to know, I mean, Axios is already reporting Trump is going to begin operations to deport millions of undocumented immigrants when he starts his term. Campaign Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt said Wednesday morning he'll launch the largest mass deportation operation of undocumented immigrants on day one. It's Nazi time, okay? And I cannot begin to explain to you how dire the situation is going to be. But before we get to what Donald Trump is going to do, let's talk about some of the failures, some of the glaringly obvious failures, okay? Because there is a lot that needs to be said. I know that immediately after this massive loss, the Democratic insiders, the rat themselves, went to the media and started talking about how it's the left that was the problem. It was the third-party voters that was the problem. The margins aren't there. If every third-party voter voted for the Democratic Party, Kamala Harris still would have lost. Do you understand me? I hate that this is yet another instance of I told you so, but the worst possible instance of I told you so. It sucks. It's hollow. It doesn't feel good. Okay? We're going to get to all of that. But let's get started with Donald Trump projected to become the 47th president of the United States.
This will truly be the golden age of America. That's what we have to have. This is a magnificent victory for the American people that will allow us to make America great again. Oh.
We welcome you to a special...
And hold on. You say you thought Harris would win the night before? Yeah, I did. I slightly favored Harris winning with an electoral college W in the blue wall as opposed to a general population, like a general election overall population victory for Donald Trump. I thought that Donald Trump was actually going to win the popular vote and Kamala Harris had a slight chance of winning the electoral college. Okay? And the reason why she lost the electoral college, and I said the only reason why it was a slight, very marginal chance for Kamala Harris, was because of the many failures of the campaign that I have been actively communicating. Actively communicating for months. For months. And months. And months. I've been screaming about this shit. And so have many others. But ultimately, everyone came in here and chirped and chirped and chirped and chirped and chirped and chirped and said, no, you don't understand. The ground game is great. Ground game is great. The ground game wins elections. Ground game wins elections. It doesn't matter when the top line communications are bad. If the campaign doesn't have a good message, $30 million of ad spend in every swing district is not going to change it, okay? You can pump them filled to the fucking brim with bad messages and bad campaign strategies. They're not going to respond positively to it. And the vote and the polls were right. They didn't respond to it, okay? That's it. The polls were correct. And it's very frustrating. It's very, very frustrating because ultimately, all of the unimaginable problems that we presented over and over again that so many people did not want to see were correct. Revisionist history, dude, you are shameless. You said she would win. The video is still you. Chatters, please. I beg you, look at this, okay? Look at this. What the hell is Kamala doing with Ested Herndon of the New York Times, okay? Is Kamala Harris's strategy all wrong? Are Democrats throwing this election Does Kamala Harris still have a chance? Kamala Harris is wild for doing this podcast for months and months and months, both on the Pod Johns podcast, both on Newsweek and numerous articles. I talked over and over and over and over again. I was confident in my statement wrong, and I hope you never took what I said as chirping at you. So yeah, I'm devastated. I think several people at work to turn out voted for Trump law, so me, I guess. For months and months and months and months, I said consistently that Kamala Harris has a slight chance of victory, but overall, her prospects are dire. I said over and over again that the reason why this race is even close, despite Trump's campaign being overall awful, which it is, and many people are going to tell you it was brilliant. Many people are going to tell you Trump was brilliant. He did a fantastic job. He did not. He did not do a fantastic job. Okay? He didn't. Donald Trump lost votes from 2020. Kamala Harris lost a ton more votes from 2020. And that's it. You should have been more vocal. This is on you, brother. What? It's all your fault, Hasan. I think we have a lot of trolls in the chat today, by the way, who, as always, don't necessarily care about the truth, but more so just want to like find a way to somehow make this my fault. I don't know how you think a Twitch streamer is responsible for the future of the future of the republic. But anyway, Americans were angry. Okay. Americans were very angry, and the campaign once again did not respond to them at all. They did not respond to their anger at all. Time and time again, I said, here, I'm on the record on this. I'll show you. There's a couple different moments, but I think one of the most prescient moments is this one. Okay? It's what I said after the DNC. Holy shit, my SEO is awful, dude. I just Googled I just searched HasanAbi DNC last night. I couldn't even find, my video doesn't even come up. PBS NewsHour, Kenan Thompson comes up. Where the is this? Anyway, are you going to be covering the concession speech later today? Yes. YouTube is also very right wing. It's like the fourth one down. No. This is John Oliver on election 2024 from the HasanAbi archive too. I think there's a problem, and I don't think Democrats are recognizing it. One, Donald Trump knows he's losing, okay? And he desperately, desperately wants to win. That's number one. Number two, Democrats think they're winning, and the race is actually close. I don't like that at all. I think that originally Kamala Harris was like legitimately pessimistic and skeptical about her prospects of winning. Like she was actually doing a good job. Not like not gloating and being careful. Democrats are so lucky that they're running against a party that has like forgotten how to run for office. Okay, where is the? I think
he will give them another round of tax breaks. In fact, is a national.
Insane. Oh, here, this is it. Oh my God. That's it. This is all it took. I can't do it. Every single reason why you were excited about Kamala Harris, beyond the fact that she was not a carcass, was literally the exact opposite of this mentality. This is old Democratic Party mentality. We're back. Good to be in business. This will be a very close race. Kamala Harris will most likely still win it because Donald Trump, unless there's some other caveats I'm going to show you in a second, Kamala Harris will most likely win this election only because the Republican Party is so completely insane. They don't know how to run a normal, competent race anymore. Donald Trump already has maxed out his name recognition. Those will be the reasons as to why Kamala Harris will most likely win. However, there is a caveat. Benjamin Netanyahu will take America's long military dick and wave it at everyone in the region, bringing troops into the fray. Okay, bringing troops into contest. Do everything in his power to make sure that the Dems don't win. Kamala Harris will be attached to all of Joe Biden's worst foreign policy achievements. Barring that, without that, this election is not in the bag at all. I've been warning that the Democrats are way too cocky, way too fucking confident about the Brad Summer memes, the momentum that they got, the momentum that they experienced. That momentum came because the Democrats responded to public pressure. I'm sorry. You have to be the dumbest to be like, I'm voting for Kamala Harris because she's going to go to war with Iran, because she's going to stand up to America's enemies. You want to know why I know you don't think that that's a good speech? Because you're coping in the chat saying, well, it's not for me. Maybe it's for some other person. Maybe it's for the Trump guys that want to drop Trump, but just like need that extra oomph. Are you saying this was a 1 out of 10 absolute train wreck in your opinion? No, of course, it's not a 1 out of 10. My expectation coming into this speech was to see what Kamala Harris talks about when she's like the joy candidate. She's gonna bring hope and change and joy. She had the opportunity to run a 2008 Obama. That's what I was expecting. Even if it was fake, my expectation at the very least was that the couple moves that they made, they were going to lead into a progressive messaging campaign. I'm sorry. The Democratic president should never, ever say we're going to have the most lethal army, the most lethal military in the world. You're supposed to be the counterbalance, the fascist, jingoistic sentiment. You're supposed to at least aesthetically present yourself as the peaceful candidate, as the peaceful party. She went up there and went cop mode. It was shocking. Like, I shit on anarchists all the time. You know this. I do. But goddamn, they're kind of not wrong. That's crazy, man. She had all this progressive momentum. And now all she's got are the loyalists who are just begging for someone, not Biden. So the answer is to not vote. Man, I'm not saying that. Vote for Kamala Harris, baby. Do whatever the you want. I'm not going to tell you not to vote for her. And most will tell you to say that you're not going to vote for her, to try to get her to do your bidding. As a voter, it is your right. It's your right to demand things from your politicians for your vote. They do not have your vote for granted. They should earn it from the jump. The one thing I will tell you is not vote for Donald Trump. When it comes to like making a political calculation, it's always running towards this mythical guy out there that is like, I'm going to only vote for the Democrats if they become moderate. Then become a Republican. I never hear a Republican go, you know, Donald Trump's got to take this line. He's got to take this soft approach because there's some moderates out there that he needs to win over. Because that's not a thing. Because they're entitled to their politicians doing their bidding. Democrats are so cowardly that they're like, I want this thing, healthcare, free college. I want these things. But honestly, I'm terrified that my neighbor doesn't want it. And he's not even going to vote for the Democrats, but maybe he will. So we should just run on this moderate policy for some other guy, not me, but another guy that might want it. It's wild that we're always seeking out this mythical moderate. People take for granted in European countries all of the policies that we are desperately trying to bring forward. But here in America, it's a non-starter. Trans people were mentioned twice during the whole DNC, by the way, no speaker. I mean, that's like that aspect of it, as long as it's like a firm commitment to have to trans people, I don't believe that the Democrats are going to lean into trans panic, which, by the way, actually, I don't know. Maybe they will. They're just going to become the Republican Party of 4 years ago until that ratchet effect makes it so that the Democratic Party inevitably becomes the Republican Party just at the same time. Jake Tapper on CNN. There were criticisms of the left calling Kamala a cop. Tonight, she seemed to have stepped right into that. True. They're celebrating her being a cop. This is a right-wing Democrat movement, and they're not even hiding it. But no, you don't understand. Chatters will tell me all about how good this is. Buying dude and go vote for Trump. Bro, I swear to God, the Dems are so back. This literally is like, you know, oh, if you don't want to vote for her, like you don't vote for her, like you're saying that she shouldn't be this like right wing. You must like Trump. That's crazy. Like, you think that's a good way to message, dude? You think like you should try and push people away from the party? You think this race isn't close? Democrats in the Electoral College, Democrats need to win by 5% nationally minimum. That's without factoring in, obviously, in the current polls, at least a 3 to 5% margin of error. We're not even in that comfortable space yet, and you are running victory laps. Ooh. It's crazy.
Quick interview?
Yeah. This is the last night of the DNC. This is when I came to the unfortunate, rather sad conclusion that the Democrats were actually going to tack to the center and center right in an effort to pick apart moderate voters. And they did that. And I kept reiterating how bad of an idea that was, and how this had not worked in the past. In numerous conversations with academics, journalists, activists, and the like, I kept saying over and over again, this is a bad idea. This is not a good idea. This is a bad idea. and that it is a risky gambit for no reason. It is a risky gamble, and it's not going to work. It has never worked, and it probably won't work. It only kind of worked for Joe Biden in 2020, and that was likely a consequence of COVID. Okay? Here is another warning that I issued to the Democratic Party on that Newsweek article last October.
The Democratic Party has this profound skill in snatching defeat from the jaws of victory. It's an issue that they would not have had if they had leaned on where people were hurting and how they were going to help them. And they didn't do that. They went with a very conservative lean. The Democratic Party's like harm reduction strategy as a way to just like shame voters away from extracting concessions and just voting for the Democrats every single time without making any demands whatsoever, as they actively push a lot of people in the base of the party away. If you rely on that without offering things to people, well, then you're inevitably shrinking your base. Whether Trump wins or loses, we are, and I mean this, living in Trump's America. Like, he might lose this election, and the Democratic Party will push Trump's 2020 agenda. That's what they're running on. That to me is crazy. That to me is genuinely terrifying to think about. The Democratic Party has this.
Yeah, but no, what do I know? And it's not just that either. There was a bunch of other issues here, like in terms of youth turnout, the male youth vote. That is going to be something that a lot of people are going to be paying attention to. I sounded the alarm about right-wingers dominating the online space for young men. 47% of the 18 to 29-year-old men voted for Donald Trump this election cycle. The amount of right-wing radicalization that has been occurring, especially in younger male spaces. Everything is completely dominated by right-wing politics. If you're a dude under the age of 30 and you have any hobbies whatsoever, whether it's playing video games, whether it's working out, whether it's, I don't know, listening to like a history podcast or whatever, every single facet of that is just completely dominated by center-right to, I wouldn't say far-right in the same way that it was back in like the 2016 era at the end of like Obama's administration, but like definitely center-right to Trumpian right, like openly Trump right, not like genuinely neo-Nazi. Go back and re-examine the conversation I had with the Pod Johns. The Pod Johns are the most like permissible left-leaning people that you can have within the orbit of the Democratic Party versus someone who is completely outside of the influence, outside of the sphere of the Democratic Party. Compare that conversation, compare the notes, compare the warnings that I issued to the Pod Johns on the Crooked Media podcast that I was on. Okay? And you will understand why we failed. You will understand why the Democratic Party failed. You will understand what the Democratic Party has to do. They will not do it because obviously they are beholden to the same corporate benefactors. They are still beholden to the same corporate masters, just as the Republican Party is. But the Republican Party gets away with being cruel. The Democratic Party still has to maintain the veneer that they are progressive, that they're supposed to be a counterbalance, that they're supposed to be a counterweight to the Republican creep towards fascism. Okay? That part is quieted down a little bit, but like they're like 90% of the way there for the most part. And that's it. Everything that they see is right-wing sentiment being expressed by individuals that they find charismatic, thought leaders, influencers that they subscribe to. And I think that that is some of the reason why you see this movement. The bro vote came through for Trump, 49 to 47. Yeah. 49% to 47%. Okay? I don't think people understand what this looks like. I don't think people understand what the future prospects look like for the Democratic Party, what the future looks like for this country. Meanwhile, on MSNBC, the progressive era has to end if the Democrats want to win again. They are tacking right again. It does not matter for them. They literally, as I told you, also correctly, they do not give a shit. They do not care. They do not care about this defeat. They're using this to say, we didn't go far right enough. It's a 30-point shift to the right. Facts don't matter anymore. There's a whole generation of young people influenced by disinformation fed by influencers who are primarily right-wing. Other than you, there are no examples of relatable masculinity on the left for young people under 30. Yes, I am going to continue doing what I'm doing, and I'm going to continue getting mercilessly on by those psychopathic demons on the right that are capturing the attention of young men in general. It doesn't matter though. This is not like simply a cultural war that you can win with. This is not a cultural war that you can win just by doing podcasts. That's not, you can't do that. You have to still have a solid defense mechanism at the top that aligns with the interests of people like myself. Okay? If the Democratic Party still is running around being like, everything is fine, actually. I mean, oh my God, just vote for us. The institutions, we got to defend the institutions. While everyone is like, I don't give a about the institutions, man. The price of bread is too high. The price of eggs is too high. You. I don't give a shit about your stupid civility. I want to blow it up is their mentality. You can't reach to them. You can't reach out to them. You can't communicate to them. There is a lot of ground to make up. The biggest lesson of 2024 campaign ads don't matter. Studies agree, but the media space does. The right has content mills churning out brain dead slop. They're popular. They work. Dem should plow through their massive wars in the progressive and liberal media. No, that's not the only problem here. That's not the only issue. It's not just that like they're not giving me enough money so I can dominate the podcast circuit or whatever. If their solution is to unleash 1 million Harry Hasans into the suburbs, they're still going to lose. They have to address the material harms that people are experiencing. If they don't do that, it doesn't matter. You can have every single TikTok twink out there running the gamut, talking about owning people in the marketplace of ideas. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It's not just about dominating the communications field, okay? It's not just that. And I like some of those guys, okay? But that's not the major issue. You cannot have a party that is ideologically committed to third way neoliberalism, constantly tacking to the center right, constantly trying to re-triangulate as the Republican Party pulls the entire country towards fascism. You can't do that. Because if one party's saying, we're going to do concentration camps, we want to kill migrants, and the other party's like, no, actually, we want to kill the migrants, but like in a gay way, people are going to be like, okay, I'm going to go with the migrant murder party instead. They've been there for years and years. I trust them more on this issue. Now the only thing you've done as the Democratic Party is you basically said it's normal. You've normalized that position now. Good job. Good job. All the while, the entire resentment towards migrants literally stems from nothing. It's not even real. It's not a real problem. There is no national security threat that migrants constitute in the United States of America. Undocumented immigrants are responsible for less crime per capita than natural-born U.S. citizens are. That's why it's literally born out of a lie. It's just made up. It's just pure vitriolic racism. It's just misinformation. What is this? Atlanta Journal-Constitution update. Several of the migrants I've been speaking with say they would have voted for Trump themselves. Most of the folks who crossed the border illegally in the last 2 to 3 years, they don't believe Trump will deport them because they are here to work and are not criminals. That's the other aspect of this. How many times have I described to you, Americans don't know. They don't understand what the impact of policy is going to look like. They don't know until it happens. Look at Roe v. Wade. Look at Roe v. Wade. Has a chance of defeating Joe Biden. I think Trump has a chance of defeating Joe Biden. But worse than that, even if Joe Biden wins, I think we go back to business as usual politics here in America. And next time around, it's not going to be Donald Trump. It's actually going to be an ideologically minded fascist, not a proto-fascist who kind of succeeded somehow and fooled Americans for long enough to get into a position of power, but an actual terrifying leader.
Oh, my goodness.
I think Trump. Oh, my goodness. Well, I was wrong. It was Donald Trump, at least on that front. But it's Donald Trump who is the fascist. Go back long enough, you will find me accurately telling you exactly what the is going to happen. But do they not understand that you don't have close enough influence to sway the entire election? No, this is not about me. Like, the people that come in here and say you're responsible for this electoral defeat are just like delusional losers that are looking to place the finger of blame at anyone but the Democratic Party for some weird reason, okay? Staggering class realignment / shift in working class from Jeff Stein at Washington Post. Harris lost despite major shift of affluent voters her way. She, literally what I said about her hemorrhaging the base while simultaneously desperately trying to grab on to as many suburban Hitlerites as possible, happened. That's it. The base fell out. The bottom fell. That's what happens when you run around and go, I'm small business. I'm a small business. I love transnational gangs and prosecuting them. I love prosecuting small transnational gangs as a business. What am I going to do for the economy? Oh, don't worry. $50,000 in tax cuts if you want to start a startup. It's like, what are you doing? What are you doing? Talk about how you are going to unleash Lena Khan on price gougers. Talk about how you're going to make the grocery stores scream bloody murder for the crime of price gouging. That's what people wanted. That's what they wanted. Yeah. This is the chart. She spent months courting Republican endorsements, writing the 2016 Clinton strategy to certain defeat. They risked it all to build a centrist party of suburbanites and college kids and lost. It's time to move on, but I don't think the Dems will move with us.
Nothing I do is performative. So I'm not going to, for instance, I'll use Hasan as an example. I'm not going to talk to a black person like Trihex and say, hey, the N-word, it's always that. What do you think black people?
What a liar, dude. What a Weasley little liar, dude. What a Weasley little liar, dude. Holy shit, dude. Holy shit, dude. Literally lying. Still lying to his audience. Can someone at least enlighten Destiny that he's literally lying to his audience? What a piece of shit, dude. Holy shit. America deserved 9/11, dude. I'm saying it.
We're there to partner with them. We're not there doing our own thing. We're there partnering and training
in a video
and
game,
equipping and enhancing their capabilities. So that's part of what we're doing. And the other part is just knowledge. We want to know what's happening.
Like we totally brought it on ourselves, dude. Holy shit. We did. We did in a video game. Amazing.